Hey everybody. Alright, one thing I've been saying for a long time is that August has always been a bad month. They, there's something about it, and alright, so I need to point this out real quick. I just find it really interesting when, when it's kind of like a normal cloudy day, when, like, these seemingly normal clouds, it's just typical weather, and it's really interesting how they're just flat at the bottom. I know there's probably some type of meteorological type of explanation between that, but it's really interesting that they're just so flat that these clouds, these like big puffy clouds of like they're basically perfectly flat at the bottom. And it's so rare to actually see normal clouds. So when I see them, it's like, wow, that's just really interesting. Um so yeah, August has just been so bad. A lot of these videos and photos are from July. So at July and like the first week or 2 weeks in August. So I have more footage that I haven't put in this video. Um, that I'm probably gonna just do. I'm probably just gonna save them for the next one because I had this video compiled up already for a while. And so same old stuff that they're doing, same old stuff. I've been seeing the normal spraying, the high altitude, disgusting spraying. You can see just how obvious a lot of these planes are um, with what they're doing. You see the sputter coming out of their exhaust or whatever it is, their sprayers. You can see them sputtering. Um, and then you'll see like another plane that's like right next to them doing nothing at all. Same altitude, same place, like same time, and they're not doing anything. They'll be trailing a little bit, but and just look at that. Look how disgusting that upper atmosphere is. It's just like it's like that right now. I'm looking outside my window, and it's just like that right now. And you know what's funny is today today I had a my veteran affairs guy that I go to school with because you always need like a veterans liaison to sign up for the veteran benefits when you go into school. And he emailed me today the article that the New York Times put out about debunking chemtrails, right? And for those of us in the know, we know that there's lawsuits that are being prepared in California and in Canada, and then along with all these new professors and scientists that are exposing these free thinking scientists, I should say, because these scientists in the New York Times article, they're just payroll scientists, obviously. So it's just really funny to see that in response to all these things happening, the New York Times puts out this article, and it seems like they do that like once a year. It seems that there's some type of like major outlet of mass media that like will do something like this, and there's been a lot of them lately. Actually, to be honest, it may not be in mass media senses, but on terms of um, YouTube, on terms of like PBS, uh, Discovery Channel videos or articles. And just to point out real quick in this video, you see me going back and forth. It's so obvious when they're spraying because one half of the sky, right, is perfectly clear, and then I scoot over on the other side, and it's all just straight lines of chem fog and chemtrails. You know, Sometimes it's just so obvious, it just blows my mind. But anyways, to get back on point, he sent me that email today, and today's the 17th. Uh, he sent me that article, because he was one of the guys when I was handing out pamphlets. I gave the veteran dude, like I think I gave him like a dozen pamphlets to hand out to people, and he's just like, yeah, sure. He's a very like, a neutral type of guy, um, and so I gave him those pamphlets, so he must have handed them out, and he sent me that article. But what's funny though is, and this is why I'm very happy that he did, is that when I handed out those pamphlets, this was 6 months ago probably, so that it's still in his mind. It's still that whole thing of chemtrailing. It's still going on in his mind. Geoengineering is still in his consciousness. So I responded to him saying that this is basically just them trying to downplay the lawsuits that are being. It's all damage control basically. And I gave him some more references. I gave him the latest video from Weather War 101 about the flooding in Louisiana. I gave him the trailer for one of the I think it's called Overcast, that Automating Nature gave me in one of his comments, and I gave him the Wikipedia article for Operation Popeye, the PRI, Public Radio International, that NPR subsidiary or something like that. I gave him an article talking about chemtrails for hire. The people who, if you have a wedding coming up, you can hire them to burst the clouds so that your wedding will have a blue sky and stuff like that. So I sent him all that stuff, and so hopefully he watches that. He sent me a response to that, and he's like, "Hey, thanks for the info, and I'll check it out." So he doesn't have an opinion on it one way or the other. And then another thing that was another thing that was amazing, because it was about like a week ago, maybe it was like 2 weeks ago. I was just getting so pissed, just so pissed off. Like, I had this overwhelming anger come through me, and it stuck with me. Like, it happened one night when I was out on my porch, just looking at the night sky, and just feeling just so angry that it was all chem-fogged over with the moon up in the sky, and I wanted to watch the moon a little bit. And just overwhelming anger hit me. And then the next day, I go to the gym, and one of these big dudes, big jacked, but he's in his 40s, so he's an older gentleman. And I've talked to him before, because I always go in the sauna afterwards. And I've talked to him before, and I knew beforehand that he was a open-minded individual, because we talked about spirituality and stuff. And this time when we were in the sauna, he came in, and I was having a conversation about all the white racism that's going on, all the white hate. It's all reverse racism. What people think is racism going on in today's day and age, it's not. It's completely reverse. It's actually white racism. We're not the ones. White people aren't doing the ones with the racism. It's all the other people, which is, that's just how how these elite like to play the game. They reverse everything. Everything that is good is actually bad, and everything is bad, they make it good. So he came in during that conversation, and he was like, and he was and basically he took the words out of my mouth. He was saying all the stuff that I was going to say, and I'm like, oh, this dude's awesome. And then the one gentleman I was talking to, he was a school teacher about that. He ended up leaving. And so the guy came in, and we kept talking, and then all of a sudden we started talking about Freemasons. We started talking about chemtrails and geoengineering, how politics doesn't matter at all. And look at that sky. Look how disgusting that is. You see that? That's probably all that stuff. Whenever you see that thick fog layer, that thick cloud mass, that's probably coming from the power plants. That I'm gonna get back to that actually after the one I'm talking about. So I was like, oh man, I can't believe, this is actually the first time in my life where I've actually met someone that was on my level, that was actually right there with me, and it was one of the most profound things that's ever happened to me. And because of the night beforehand, because of the previous night, there's a military plane. I actually just saw one when I was outside, not like 15 minutes ago. I just saw one. So there's something going on with military planes flying by here, and just looking for truth, you need to check out about that base that's getting set up around you. Like if you see this, keep seeing this shit flying over. Um, and just because of the night prior, I got so angry at people, and all of a sudden, this me and this dude, we were on each other's level, and I was like, this is amazing. If only everyone was like this. If only I could meet everyone that already that was intelligent enough to know these things. Okay, actually, we got videos coming up here. I went to the DNC in Philadelphia. Look at this here. They got drones. You got a lot of people bashing Hillary. This is about the DNC stuff. Because it was in Philadelphia, and I just took the train down. I was at it's all the Freemason temple is right there, right in the middle, right by the city hall, and this is the Masonic temple. Yeah, I went over there, just checked some stuff out. That's where the drone people were at. A lot of protesters. I only went during the daytime. I didn't want to bother go to that nighttime thing where all the riots and all the mass protesters were at, because fuck that. Like those people are idiots. What's the point? And then there's all the Bernie, like Black Men for Bernie Sanders. These people are all tools. Black Men Unite, and you had you had like all the Black Lives Matter people there with their megaphones, and of course you had the Jesus freaks. I'm not gonna. I think I've stated my opinion on homosexuality and stuff like that before. I'm not gonna. But have the kids out there playing. It's a good day. And that was pretty much it. Like I had more stuff, but it wasn't really that interesting. I probably could have taken some more videos and stuff, but it wasn't really all that big of a deal. So and there was actually a bunch of donkeys. I thought I put the pictures in here, but I guess not. But they had a bunch of donkeys representing the Democrats all throughout the city. And I took some pictures of them. They all had like different states and stuff like that on them. So getting back to what I was saying, it's just so amazing when you meet someone, and this was only for like 10 minutes that we talked in the sauna. It was just like we were just shooting the shit about. And it was just so amazing. I was like, so about this, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, oh man, whoever, if that dude has kids, those kids are probably the luckiest kids on the planet to have a parent like him, someone who isn't a complete tool, and just like that, the teacher that I was talking to, he's a history teacher too. The guy because he's the guy that I mentioned before in one of my videos that, I've told him about chemtrailing, but he just doesn't care. He's one of these guys that like whatever. I don't care about it. And he made me try to make me look like a fool when I was in the locker room, and I said, "Did you see him spraying outside?" It was complete coverage of all chemtrails, and he's just like, "Oh," and he just laughed, whatever. And I was just like, "Dude, you're not gonna respond or anything. Like, come on, they're right there." But then the other dude, and I'm so happy that he's actually a very healthy, fit, big dude, got massive arms, huge chest, no stomach fat, and he's an older guy, so it's someone that for me, I can actually look up to someone like that, because that's that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be when I grow up. And not only that, but we were also talking about how no one knows their environment. We were talking about how we like to pick food. When I'm riding my bike, I always like to pick blackberries, some good dandelions, as long as I know that they haven't been spraying them. And he's the same type of dude. He has a garden. He picks when he's out working or something. He says he pick mulberries and stuff off the trees. I'm like, that's amazing. He's very on the level. So I was so happy that happened to me, and it was just really funny that that happened to me the next day after I had this wave of absolute hatred and anger. It made me very happy. It gave me a bit more hope. And like I said before, I'm a very hopeful person. That's why I almost every day when I wake up, I'm like, I don't want to think that this is real. Like, I don't want to believe that any of these things that are happening are real. Like, I don't want to think that chemtrails is an actual thing, that the environment that is being poisoned, that the food has chemicals, pesticides, everything in it. I don't want to believe in those things. So anyways, just to get back to something I wanted to mention is that for Eastern Pennsylvanians, uh, through my many hours of observation of the sky, if the wind is an easterly blowing wind, okay, if the wind is coming from the west and blowing to the east, going out to the ocean, there's basically like this is a massive guess here, but it's going to be like a 90% chance that they're going to be it's going to be either chem fog, chemtrailed, or the power plant type of poison type of cloud coverage. All right, if it's an easterly blowing wind, it's almost guaranteed that they're going to be spraying that day. Now, if the wind is coming from the east, if it's a westerly blowing wind, it's almost guaranteed to be a normal day that day. And this also goes for if the wind is coming from the northwest, okay, so if it's blowing southeast, it's basically like as if it was coming from the west again. So anything coming from the west, it's either been sprayed down already, or it's being sprayed at that moment, or it's been fogged over already. So anything from the west, okay. I've been paying a lot of attention to the wind patterns for a while now, but it's only until now that I'm really digging deep into the whole that it really is coming from the west. So this video is pretty much over. Sorry if it's kind of long. I mean, these are actually, it's on 2x speed, so I kind of shorten these up. But still, though, I mean, these are all right. But anyways, I hope you all are doing good. Stay healthy, stay clean, and remember, keep your eyes to the sky, people. Peace.